I'ma dive on the floor, go try to block every shot, and I'm gonna be physical with you the whole game. You know Stu gonna be physical with you. When you think of the Pistons, you think of just hard work and just gritty basketball. That's just the identity you gotta have when you put on that jersey.
I'm not your average breed of canine. Not a good dog, I'm bad boy for life. I set the tone, don't care about no tick. Let it be known, I get my respect. Come in the lane and see I don't bluff. If you retaliate, that's on ya. Talking pundits, I hear you're ashamed. Talking that shop, you must run this way. Tryna tell ya, if the dog palm, mess around, find out, if the dog palm, mess around, find out, for some barbecue sauce, boy, you better crop a hill, cause I'm like that. When you're real for some barbecue sauce, boy, you better crop a hill, cause I'm like that. Mess around, find out.
What up, though, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the King and Deuce show tonight. Hope everybody is having a great Sunday afternoon, evening. Tonight, we got the squad back for a very special episode. So tonight with us, we got King, and we also have Clutch Points beat writer for the Pistons, Detroit Pistons, Eric Vincent, a.k.a. E. Vinny, on the squad with us tonight. Fellas, what's good, bro? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling, bros?
Man, I'm here. It's been a while since we talked some Pistons basketball, man. A lot of Lions training camp takeover, man. So I think it's long overdue for the fan base.
Yeah, you've been going in over there, King. I've been watching them videos, even the practice facility and all that. So I'm gonna have to check your updates out. You guys, make sure you check out all of the updates that he has. Everything King, go follow him. Top title Detroit or sports? I know I always get confused, Eric.
Detroit. Yeah, that's mine right there.
Detroit.
Yeah,
so y'all make sure y'all go take that out after. We're gonna get into that later. But shout out to you guys who are here in the chat already. Y'all got a popping. William McGregor, appreciate you, bro. Says King and Deuce legends. Can't wait for the stream. Appreciate you, bro. Hey, E. Vinny is also a legend. We talk about legends tonight, but E. Vinny is also a legend. So Will, we appreciate you, bro. Come on, bro. You know,
I'm taking baby steps in this game. I got a lot of ground to make up to catch up with y'all, man. King, one of my, the people I watched to get into this space, man. So,
you too? You too? Oh, literally. I've been watching him since like 2015, 16.
Yeah, he laid the groundwork down for me to be here, bro. For sure.
Thanks for making me feel old. Thanks.
No, yeah. Let me get that cash app as soon as this is over. All right, King? All right, bet. Good luck. All right. So tonight, fellas, this episode is going to be a little bit different. As you guys know, we are in the thick of the offseason right now. And with about 2 months until Pistons basketball, a little bit less, we're going to kind of scratch that itch a little bit tonight, the Pistons itch. So we decided to give you guys some Pistons all-time rankings. Now, this has been a hot topic. I made a post about this a couple of days ago, and it has gotten a lot of buzz, a lot of feedback, a lot of engagement. So tonight we're going to talk about the top 10 all-time Pistons defenders, not all time in the NBA, but just Pistons. We're going to go with that. And like I mentioned, man, I shared this on Twitter yesterday, IG, and got a crazy amount of feedback. People calling me out my name. It's all good. It's all, I get it. But we're going to explain and break down why everybody on this list is where they are. By the way, side note, if anybody wants their personal list to be shared and broken down, send a super chat with your list and we will pull it up and we will see what y'all are working with. Or you can just drop comments in response to the list that I personally have and that we have. So this list is as of today. I want to make that clear. As of today, this list is subject to change. The list is fluid. It could be very different in as little as a year from now, in my mind at least. So keep that in mind, guys, that you're watching. For me, longevity does play a factor in these rankings. These are based on when the Pistons were actually playing when these players are playing with the Pistons, not when they're playing other teams. But I settled on my list based on a combination of impact on the floor, upside, and longevity. Those are the big things: impact, upside, and longevity. So keep that in mind as we're going through this list. I do have, before we get started, some honorable mentions. So let's get to those. If you guys have any you want to add to this, feel free. I've got guys like Dave DeBusschere, Theo Ratliff, Rasheed Wallace, Jerome Williams, Terry Tyler, Chauncey Billups, Mark Macon, you guys remember that name? Don Adams, Chris Ford, ML Carr, Edgar Jones, and Dan Roundfield. So those, to me, were all guys that I considered going through these rankings. I don't have them on my list, but I do think they should be in the conversation. But I just don't have them in my top 10. You guys have any issue with those honorable mentions? We'll start there.
Yeah.
What y'all think? Holla at me.
Yeah. One of them I'm tripping on. I'm okay with. I mean, actually, I might have a problem with two of them.
Okay.
She has to be in this. She got to be in this top 10.
Okay.
She
I saw
can't
that
be
a lot.
honorable mention. She has to be. I mean, the Wallace times 2, combo, what they were able to form. Again, I always call the 04 Pistons the best defense in NBA history. And what I like about them so much, and again, the bad boys laid down the groundwork. I have nothing but respect for those guys. I just you hear a lot from a lot of former players now where they talk about, if Steph Curry would have did that, we would have elbowed him and
yeah.
All right, bro, but then you be out of the game. So that's not really defense
Right.
if you're doing that. So while I have respect for the bad boys and I think they were fantastic and I think it was necessary for them to add that attitude, to the league, as guys like Jordan and whatnot are coming up, I have a little more respect for guys like Sheed playing in the era that they did as offense was, becoming a little more, profound in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
And he was able to kind of transition from two different teams. I mean, he's only in Atlanta for a second, but
Right.
I think what Sheed was able to do, great rebounder, great rim protector when he had to be, wasn't super consistent through his entire time in Detroit, but I think in his heyday with the first few years, I think he was, still a dangerous defender, especially when they lost Ben when he went to Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I even think you might even want to put Jerome Williams in there. I mean, Junkyard Dog was a monster on the glass. I mean,
JYD.
I don't know if I can, keep him as an honorable mention and then leave John Salley, at that bottom.
Really?
I would switch one of those two for one of my 2 days. That's how I would do it.
Okay. That's interesting. King, what you got to say about that, bro?
Yeah, I can definitely give that. There ain't no way I can put Sheed outside the top 10.
Wow. Okay.
Just based off of what him and Ben did, man. So, yeah, I pretty much agree with everything that Eric said, man. It's tough because JYD is one of the names that comes up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like I say, everybody had a piece of the defense with those two teams, the Bad Boys and the Go to Work Pistons. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Even Eldon Campbell had a part in the defense, you know what I'm saying, defending bigger centers. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So somebody got to get left off.
That's
so
the thing.
Let's just go back to let's just go to the list. You know what I'm saying? And let's just the honorable mention. I'm content. It's just Rasheed.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay. I'm with that's kind of where I'm at too, bro. It's like if you're gonna put somebody on, somebody's got to come off. I think Eric, you made some good points there. I kind of push back a little bit on the hard foul thing. The Bad Boys definitely were known for that. It didn't start with them. It actually started with the Celtics. That's who they learned from. True. But I just kind of think they get a bad rap and they kind of get stereotyped into only being bruisers, only doing that. I think those guys, for you think about Rasheed Wallace. You mentioned this. I'll talk about that really quickly as to why I didn't have him in my top 10. A lot of people were saying, I was crazy for not having guys like Sheed and Chauncey on this list, and I definitely considered them. But I think there's just something to be said for playing next to a 4-time DPOY in Ben Wallace. And that's not taking anything away from Rasheed.
Right.
But, I mean, you got one of the best, all-around defenders of their generation, Tayshaun Prince, with you. And you also have, one of the best defenders of his in NBA history playing alongside next to you. Mm-hmm. I think the 04 Pistons, like you mentioned, were one of the best defensive teams. They were one of the more connected defensive teams. They weren't really built around a lot of individual top-tier defensive players. Rip was solid. Chauncey was solid. We know what Tay was. I thought Rasheed was in that Rip and Chauncey category when he came here. I feel like with the Blazers, when he was a little bit thinner, a little bit more spry, a little more athletic, that's when he really had more impact defensively. But I just think that guys like Ben and Tayshaun specifically, they made things a lot easier for the rest of the guys on the court. Like you think about that play, the famous block that Ben had on Shaq in Miami, right? Oh, yeah. On that play, help side play. Yep. That was a help side play because Rasheed was getting a little lazy on defense under the hoop. And when the entry pass went to Shaq, you saw Sheed just try to push him. He's trying to push him out the way. But Shaq is so big that when he tried to push him, the only one that moved was Sheed. And he moved back. So had Ben not had the awareness to be there, help side, to make that block, that would have been a totally different memory, totally different play. And I think that's kind of a microcosm of the effect and impact that Ben had playing alongside of Rasheed Wallace. Not saying Rasheed was a bad defender. He was above average defender. But I think having a guy who can erase mistakes like a Ben Wallace and make people forget about the lazy plays in that situation, all they remember is the block. I think having a guy like that can really benefit you and raise your defense. So not taking anything away from him, I just think having that level of player alongside you is something to be said for that for me.
And then I take that and flip it the other way too, man, because since Ben Wallace is a guy that does nothing but play defense, it kind of makes Rasheed kind of look, a little bit lesser than to me.
That's a good point.
Like I said, it kind of takes away from how good Rasheed Wallace was defensively, because that's, like I said, that's all Ben was known for. Yeah, the alley-oop plays and, here and there, fine, but he was just known strictly for his defense. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that can kind of overshadow how good Rasheed was playing defense.
That's fair. That's fair. I like what Derek said. Rodman and Salley were considered the defensive X factors on the Bad Boys. I definitely think that was the case. A lot like how, you could argue the same thing with Sheed and Ben. So I get it, man. There is no right answer, no perfect answers. This is just the list that I came up with, but I love the pushback. Eric, you got some more for me?
Chauncey is interesting. I think he made second team all defense, I think one time. You saw a lot of great defensive effort, out of that whole crew. I think it was awesome that they had Lindsay Hunter coming off the bench to kind of help spark plug with the rotational guys of the reserves as well. Right. So no, I don't have a problem with Chauncey being suggested. I have a little pushback on one more.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know if I'm right or wrong on this. I think it's too early to put Ausar where.
Oh wait, okay, hold on.
We still
Okay, this is honorable mention still. Yeah, so save that.
My bad. I'm jumping all over the place. My fault.
You really want him off that list?
Yeah. Let me chill. Sorry. We saw honorable mention.
Chill on the young guns.
My bad. My fault.
If I gotta wait to pull my pistol, you gotta wait too.
Yeah, my fault.
No, he acting like a surgeon in here, bro. He picking every little piece of this.
My bad.
No, it's all good. Hold that though, because I definitely want to hear that, because I heard a lot of that about the young guys. So we're gonna get into it. Okay. All right. So William McGregor coming back says, if Slava Kravtsov ain't top 5, we gotta.
Wildly, come on, Will.
It's been a while since I heard that name, bro. Anybody else y'all want to throw in there that should be in there that's not? I think that's a pretty good one right there as far as somebody who should not be in the top 5. That's hilarious, though, William McGregor. That's funny. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to this list, man. I have it posted on IG, so let's go ahead and share it, and then we will get into it, starting with number 10. So let's pull that up. Okay, so starting at number 10, I have John Spider Salley. John Salley was a guy who was, as Derek Pulliam mentioned, the big X factor as far as that bad boy defense, as far as just rim protection. But they called him Spider Salley because he has such a long wingspan, and he was just long. He was long. He was wiry, springy, super athletic, great rim protector. He guarded guys like Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, MJ, all those guys. So he definitely was a big part of that defense. 2-time NBA champion, integral part in both of those championships. So that is why I have him on this list. Chat reaction. King, Eric, reaction to John Salley at number 10. I already know Eric got something for me, but let's hear it.
Go ahead, Eric. You get nothing from me. I'm good with it.
This is the one I would take off. Okay. I would take John Salley off of this list. I think JYD and I think Sheed have arguments to kind of replace him. Now, granted, he was fantastic in, being one of those, help defenders, for the Bad Boys when he was here. I just think, I don't know. I think Sheed averaged, I think he had better numbers around. Obviously he's different times, so numbers are going to fluctuate based on, errors and whatnot. But I think what she was able to do in, like I said, just adding that stability to, that core that they had, especially replacing a guy like Memo who didn't play a lot of defense. I think him being able to add that extra leap, to where they were already, where they're already a good defensive team, but I think he just took them to a different plane. And we talk about kind of how underrated Salley was. I feel like Sheed was kind of in that same category as well.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a good defender with the Blazers, but I think he really made his knack when he was with the Pistons. And I mean, obviously, while they, to me, again, like I said, I think they're the best defensive team in NBA history, and I think Sheed is a big reason why. So me personally, and knowing Junkyard Dog is one of the best rebounders of that time as well, I would put one of those two over Salley in this position if I could.
King?
Hey, like I said, I'm good with it, man. I'm good with it. He's not the guy that I would take off.
Okay.
You know, like I said, I came into basketball watching the Bad Boys as a kid. I know how important John Salley was, especially in the role that he played. So I don't have a problem with it at all. So I
think your argument is fair for Sheed. I can't really get behind JYD. I don't really see anything that JYD that Salley didn't do, and he wasn't quite as big. I felt like he was as good of a perimeter defender as JYD. He was longer, he was taller, but better rim protector in my opinion. So that's the one I can't get behind. But the Sheed argument, I'm not mad at that. I think the argument could be made for him at 10. So I'm not mad at that one. I'm not mad at that one at all. Rashad said, I'm biased towards the Bad Boys. Salley was a dog. Yeah, like, and all these guys were, it's hard, man. Like, when you're talking top 10, and that's kind of what made this list fun, is that everybody's list is going to be different, you know? But I think we're going to kind of all have a lot of the same guys, just in a different order. And for me, it was just John Salley at number 10. But once again, I do understand, you know, names like Rasheed being on this list or, you know, being even higher. So I'm with that. All right.
Okay.
So let's go to number 9. At number 9, we have Lindsay the Pitbull Hunter. I definitely felt like he should have been on this list for sure. In both of his stints with the Pistons, I thought he was really good, especially the last stint though with the you know, the title run that we had. Him and Mike James, the damage they would do when they came into the game. We talked about those 3 components as far as impact, right? A lot of time, you think about people who were saying that Chauncey should have been on this list. Chauncey was solid, but you felt the defensive intensity go up when Lindsay came into the game. That was what he was known for. You saw he was creating a lot of turnovers, a lot of things you would see with Chauncey in the game. The Pistons would get stops, which is good. But you would see when Lindsay's in the game, he's turning him over and getting easy buckets on the other end. So for me, I think just how he came into the game, never took a play off, was a pest on both sides. He could guard 1 through 3 at times, smaller threes. So I think just his ability to press, guard you 94 feet, make things, and just kind of change the complexity of the game when the offense may be stuck in the mud, just kind of giving you that bolt or that jolt of energy that you need. I felt like he was one of those guys, even though he's a guard, not a big guard, I feel like because of how he played and the impact that he had, I couldn't leave him off of his list. Thoughts on that?
Lindsay, obviously, no problem there. I don't know about number 9, though.
Okay.
Like number 9, because, man, Lindsay was getting busy on them guards, man. You know what I'm saying? So, like
you have him higher?
I'm not trying, a little bit higher on the list for me.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm definitely with it, man. I mean, how could you not have Lindsay Hunter on the list, man? Them 2 little pit bulls, man, was something else to watch. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, a lot of the matchups, man, he just made things a lot different for us out there, man. So yeah, I agree.
What you think, Even?
I'm 100% with King. He has to be higher on this list. I feel like 9 is kind of disrespectful. I think he needs to be. I would even put him in the rank above where he is now. Yeah, his defense never stopped. Like, he was good from the time he was a rookie. I remember him guarding LeBron when he was a veteran, giving him problems on the ball. Like, he was one of them ones. And again, the fact that was like his mantra for his entire career. Like, normally you see some slippage in guys. I don't remember ever seeing Lindsay kind of not have that same intensity, be able to guard you 94 feet. Like, we literally saw the league kind of evolve with bigger guards, so they tried to post him up. But if he was picking you up face to face, you were having a problem. Like, I remember being a kid and my pops telling me, like, hey, you want to learn how to play defense? Watch him. And that's exactly what I did. Went to his basketball camp, picked up too many pointers from him. Lindsay got to be higher on this list for sure.
Okay. Where would you put him at?
I would put him in the all-timer list.
Really? Okay, we're gonna get to the tiers later. So you put him in that 5 to 7 range, maybe.
Yeah, I'm cool with a lot of the names you have on here, but I'm kind of reordering some of these names. I feel like Lindsay got to be higher on this list.
Respect. I ain't mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. Rashad Walker says Lindsay had opposing PGs shaking their head when they see them coming. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like when Brian at the free throw line playing with the Heat against the Spurs, and he saw Kawhi coming in. He's like, it was kind of like that. Same kind of thing. Like, I gotta deal with this dude now. Like, he made life hell for you as soon as he came into the game. So I'm not mad at that at all. I think that's kind of high, like 5 to 7 for me. Because once again, it's like, who are you gonna move ahead? So with that, we can move to number 8 on this list and see who's there. So at number 8 on this list, guys, I have Ausar Thompson. And this is when things really started to get interesting. This is when things really started to get interesting. Now, let me just say my piece on this. You guys know, I call Ausar Thompson the backbone of this defense. Right? He covers up so many mistakes. He's a great help side defender, on ball, and great on ball defender. You guys know that. And you literally feel the defensive resistance ease up when he's not on the court. That's the impact piece, those 3 components, right? The things that he can do physically, I've probably only seen 3 or 4 people in my history of watching basketball do, including his brother, which is crazy. But the things that he can do, he's one of the best all-around athletes I have ever seen, as far as being able to run up the court laterally, his vertical jump, his foot speed, his reaction time, his defensive processing, his help, like everything that he is the perfect prototype for a defender. And there's not a lot of guys who I've seen that can do all just across the board, just good athletically, across the board. No weaknesses as far as athleticism. So for me, that's why I had to put him on this list. Like, I think he has the highest upside of anybody on this list. And even though I know it's just year 3 coming up for him, but the things that he's shown me already, the upside piece, that's why I had him on his list. But I couldn't put him any higher because he doesn't have the longevity. So I think in a couple years, he could be in the legend tier. But I think as of right now, I couldn't put him any higher 8, but I do think he deserves to at least be here. Thoughts on that? I know. Go ahead, push back. Let me hear it. Come on. I already know it's coming.
Eric, go ahead, because I'm going to be like Stephen A. You better go ahead.
You want me to go?
You go first.
I can't get with it, man. I really like Ausar. I just feel like there's a lot of gas on him right now that he has not proven. Like, just a lot. I'm sorry. I know I'm high on his upside as well. I definitely love his athleticism. I love the versatility he brings offensively and defensively. We all see the potential. I just feel like it's way more potential than production right now. It is not to say that he's not producing, because he for sure is. But if we were to look at these lists of guys right now, and you're just like going around, like looking at numbers, the numbers are there, like they kind of weigh out in some areas. But a lot of these guys we also remember from moments as well. We talk about Lindsay Hunter picking up 94 feet. We're going to talk about Tayshaun. Ben has a million moments. Rodman has a million moments. Ausar don't have a moment that has stamped him as an all-timer yet. And I feel like moments are important. Like, I don't see it yet. To me, the moment that kind of is standing out for him, and it's maybe fair or not fair, but the biggest moment, if you were to ask about him right now, to me, would be when he got crossed up by Jalen Brunson and got iced for that game winner.
See, that's true.
I'm being honest, bro.
That's true, but what did he do the last 3 minutes before that? He literally has shut JP down before that. So it's like guys like that are going to score.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? It just happened to be the very last play of the game. Like, he was on an island all of these possessions defending this dude.
Right. Like,
causing 24-second violations in the heat of the moment at the end of the game. So it's like that may have been the biggest moment, but it's kind of like the last shot. Like, I don't think you're gonna say certain guys are the best player because they had the most buzzer beaters.
No, of course not.
And Kobe had the most buzzer beaters than anybody. So you're gonna put him above MJ? Like, it's just like, it's just that kind of conversation. Like, go ahead. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I'm just saying, like, I hear what you're saying. You're 100% right on that, but we also have to be clear about where he is at this point. Again, a lot of what we're so hopeful on with Ausar is the potential. That's the first thing that everybody talks about with him. But we also have to talk about what he's been doing as well. He has foul trouble issues. He guards with his hands way too much. And he doesn't have to. He has a great wingspan. He's quick. He's fast. He's a blur. He can cover all points of the floor. But he has areas where he's not a perfect defender yet. I feel like people are just so high on the potential that they already think that he's all time in a lot of different areas. And he's just not. He has not proven that yet at all. Like, again, He may get there, but we have not seen that at this moment yet. He ain't made no All-NBA defensive teams. He hasn't played a full season. He doesn't have a signature moment where you can say, oh, yeah, that stamps who he is as a defender. Like, we just haven't seen enough to really stamp him as that. Like, people think his brother is in a different stratosphere than him for a reason. He just has to show a little bit more.
Well, I mean, we got to consider his brother wasn't out for 8 months either. With no
That's true.
activity.
That's
like
fair.
you got to consider these things too. I mean, like the things he was, and once again, for me, the component of upside was probably higher for him more than anybody else. I probably factored that in more for him than anybody else because I think he has that much upside. The things he was able to do, despite missing so much time and being thrown to the wolves in the middle of the regular season, while being asked to guard every team's best offensive player every single night, and doing the things that he was able to do and still being far and away our best defensive player, despite all that, is why I put so much stock into his upside. I understand what you're saying. He hasn't shown it yet. But for me, I've seen enough. I've seen enough to know, barring anything crazy happening, knock on wood, that he's going to be, I think as early as next year, he can move up at least 2 or 3 spots.
Listen to what you're saying. You said what he's going to be, what he can become. I'm seeing y'all in the chats too. He's going to become that. What is he at this current moment?
Okay, so Derek Pulliam says, what constitutes a signature moment? Is it a moment in the playoffs or is it key highlights? So how would you respond to that, Eric?
It could be key highlights. It could be like, let's say,
the Tayshaun block.
The Tayshaun block. T-Mac's offensive streak where he scores 10 straight points against the Spurs to bring them back to a victory. I don't think we've seen enough of that from Ausar to say, okay, yeah, he's the guy and he's proven all of these things. Like, again, the highest thing we're on right now is the potential. I feel like the production from what we've seen, which is great, there's also some problems that he needs to iron out as well. The foul trouble is a problem. Like, the ability to stay on the floor is a problem. He has to be able to solve for that this season before I can give my stamp. It's not, we haven't seen the eliteness on a consistent basis. Like, there was games where JB couldn't play him more than 20 minutes because of his conditioning or his foul trouble. That's a problem. Him and JD had the same problems with foul trouble. He's got to prove that like a little bit more. I have not seen this elite stamp that's existent right now. Are the tools there? Yes, but the production consistently, I'm not seeing it yet. Just not yet.
So do you think a year from now, and I understand what you're saying, because you're putting more stock on what he's accomplished, yes, and I'm putting more stock on what I think he will accomplish. So I understand it. Do you think a year from now we'll be having a different conversation about where he is? No. As far as ranking.
A year from now? I mean, he can. Yeah, I think he can make a different conversation for sure. I don't think it's a ton of guys
trying to get a gauge for kind of how you're. Okay.
Yeah, but King says different. Why you say no, bro?
He say no. Go ahead.
It's my turn now.
Yeah, go.
No, we ain't done.
Clear out.
Go ahead.
Clear out.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. For the love of God, Pistons.
Oh my gosh.
Especially in the comments. Get out the damn moment. We have Ausar ahead of Lindsay Hunter. Someone who literally just had his first full season and the opportunity to even try to play and learn defense in front of somebody who did it. We talking about champions here. We talking about guys who are the legacy of the Pistons. We're talking about a guy on a young team that just learned how to win games. They just started. I have not seen nothing. What the hell has Ausar done? He played some good defense.
So wait a minute, bro. Hold on.
No. He played some good defense on somebody for a couple of minutes in a playoff game. God damn it. Killian Hayes used to lock up fucking Trae Young.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We are not putting Killian Hayes in the same conversation with Ausar Thompson in any facet of the game. We're not doing that. I was with you for a minute, but when you said that, nah, bro, it's levels, bro. He can't even get on his own national team, bro. We're not doing that.
You get my point.
I hear what you're saying, King. I hear what you're saying.
Don't mean nothing. Just because somebody play defense for a couple of good minutes, don't mean you throw them on a top 10 fucking list.
Couple of good minutes? What are you talking about, bro? He was guarding the best player every single night. The reason we don't remember all these things is because it was
not every single night.
No, he was guarding the best player every single night. He was assigned the best player every single night.
No, he was.
Who was assigned the best player other night every night outside of him?
I didn't see him.
Who was guarding Trae Young? Who was guarding all these guys? Who was guarding Brunson? Who was guarding Donovan Mitchell? Who was guarding these guys every single night? You're going to be in foul trouble guarding the best player on the court every single night. Bro, you're going to get in foul trouble at times when you're guarding the best player every single night. Everybody talks about Brunson and his flopping.
You had your opportunity to talk.
Go ahead.
I didn't see him guarding Anthony Edwards when they played the Timberwolves. I didn't see him guarding the best guard or the best scorer on every single team this season. I didn't see that. I seen it sometimes.
He was guarding him
here and there. I seen it against the Knicks. Whoop-de-doo. What the hell are we talking about?
He did it against Trae Young. He did it against Donovan Mitchell. He did it against Jaylen Brown.
Lindsay Hunter? Are you kidding me right now?
I'm not.
I'm not. Are you kidding me right now?
I'm not at all.
That is textbook in the moment right there. That is in the moment.
No, I outlined. Listen, I outlined the 3 points.
Exist. They can't even hold the gym bags of those other two teams, and we fucking putting them in front of guys.
So let me ask you a question. Like I said, like I mentioned very clearly the components that I used for this list, and I mentioned
athleticism. I don't care.
You don't care about that.
Him and his brother. None of that matters with a top 10 list of defense of the Detroit Pistons. None of that matters.
I disagree.
It's what you've done, and did you win the games? Did you win some championships? That's what mattered, playing that defense.
Bro.
Did you hold teams to 65 points playing that defense?
So let me ask you a question. I'll tell you what we're talking about. I will tell you what we're talking about. You asked the question, so now you got to let me give you the answer.
Stopped in this league, even in the
who are the team? You guys, you can't just talk about the individual player and not look at the team. Are we comparing Monty Williams to Larry Brown? Is that what we're doing?
Since we've been watching basketball, that ain't special.
Bro, you're literally okay. Put Ausar Thompson on all 4 Pistons. What happens then? Like, what are we talking about, bro?
And that's what happened. He's not even a better defender than Tayshaun yet. What the hell are we talking about?
No, he's not. But is Lindsay a better defender than Tayshaun Prince?
Kobe Bryant, and watch what happens.
Is Lindsay a better defender than Tayshaun Prince? Is Lindsay a better defender than Tayshaun Prince? I never said nothing about Tayshaun Prince. What are you talking about? I ain't mentioned his name. I'm talking about this guy.
Lindsay Hunter has literally had to guard some of these best guards, especially in playoff moments where they actually won the game and held teams under 75 points.
That's cool. He wasn't the only one, bro. It's a team game. You're giving him credit like he was guarding all 5 players every single night and holding 25 points by himself.
But he has never taken somebody completely out of a game.
That's a fact.
Okay, no, that's fair. I'm not arguing that. Once again, I'm putting stock into what I think he's going to become. I said it like 5 times already.
In the moment.
And he's the only guy I'm doing that with because to me, he has the potential to be an all-time great defender. So that's what I'm basing it off of. You're basing it off what guys did over the course of their career. I get it. Cool. I'm not doing that. I'm looking at he's shown me already what he's going to be. He's going to be all-time better defender than Lindsay Hunter easily. He may pass some of the guys you mentioned, like Tayshaun Prince over time.
That can't be the measure,
top 3.
That can't be the measure, though. What it can't be
guy on the top 10 over guys.
That's my problem. That's my problem. Like we watched him in the playoffs. We saw. You could argue that Dennis Schroeder had better defense on Jalen Brunson. You can legitimately make that argument. Like Brunson, again, he wasn't playing full
no, he was not.
Bro.
No, he was not. No, he was not, bro. You literally just said Dennis Schroeder played better defense on Brunson.
He was playing better than him in certain games. Absolutely.
For the series, I'm talking about. Not when you got to come in when the guy's already been playing 5 minutes and you guard him then. I'm talking about start of the game. From the very beginning of the game to the end of the game. Who was guarding him in that last play? Who was guarding him at the end of the game? Was Schroeder guarding him? If he's that much better than defender, why wasn't he guarding him? He was on the court getting cooked.
No, I was talking about Ausar.
That's why he had to sit down. And that's why when Ausar came in, he shut him down until that very last play, bro. What are we talking about? Schroeder was dropping his his shoulders every play because Brunson was just cooking him shot after shot after shot. He had to sit down. They had to bring Ausar in, who shut him down on 3 straight possessions, and then Brunson hit the last shot.
Okay, Brunson ain't gonna go 8 for 8, bro. Yeah, he gonna miss a shot or 2, but he did cook Ausar for the final shot that mattered. That's all.
That does matter, but there is no final shot if you don't shut him down the previous 3 or 4 plays. You talking about caught in the moment? You focusing on the last moment. Come on, bro.
That was the moment, though.
Well, you can't say we're caught in the moment and then just focus on the moment. What are you talking about, bro?
This
Come on.
happens all the time. This is not new. This is not special. You see
What's
star
not special?
players do that all the time. They absent for the whole game, and then at the end of the game, they bust your ass. We seen Cat do it to us. That's not special. Because you play defense for a small little segment, a couple of minutes.
I'm glad you mentioned Cat. I'm glad you mentioned Cat because that explains why there is another Piston on this list that is there. That hasn't been playing for a long time, but it is there because of the impact. Since we talked about that, let's move to number 7. I have Isaiah Stewart at number 7. For the very reasons you just mentioned. For the exact reasons you just mentioned. For Stu, it's a lot of the same things I mentioned with Ausar. This is going to be year 6 for him, so he has a few years on him, right? But just like Ausar, when Stu isn't on the court, you feel the defense loosen up. The resistance, especially at the rim for Stu, is not the same. His impact, there's that component again. You feel it when he's missing. Let me ask you a question. You mentioned all those cats that Cat was hitting, all those shots that Cat was hitting at the end of the game in game 6 of that series, and the series as a whole. Do you think he's doing that if Stu was available? He's not doing that. He's not doing that. That's not happening. All those fadeaway shots and all those things. You just did the whole. We just talked about the whole what if situation in the last segment. We just talked about the whole what if situation. So how you gonna not do it now?
How am I
like, come on, bro?
Stu would have locked them up. How do I know that?
Because you told me and everybody else that had Stu and Jay not even available, we win the series. You told me that. You told everybody that. So of course you said that.
Listen, I'm a Pistons fan too, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm not gonna sit here and talk crazy. Cat is a superstar in this league. I don't know what the hell he would have did against Stu in them situations. He is a superstar for a reason. They went and got him for a reason. Stu is a great defender. He really impressed me this season. But I'm not going to sit here and act like Stu is just some Ben Wallace or something.
Did I say that? Is he number 1? Don't do that.
He in the top 10.
Let's be accurate. I asked you a question. Is he number 1? Is he number 2? Or is he 7?
Anybody should have been 8, it should have been Stu. It should be Ausar.
You talking about Ben Wallace? You crazy, bro. William McGregor says, I'm dying, Deuce. Let the man talk. My bad.
No,
That's on me. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Said Ausar just a foul child. 8 is absolutely nuts. Tesla got more potential than America's traits. So okay, fine. So it's obvious that you guys are focused more so on what is accomplished.
Potential. We don't do potential. We do results.
No, we do potential, bro. Our whole team is based on potential. Listen. I let you talk. Now it's my turn. I let you talk. Now it's my turn. You just said we don't do potential. What is our core? Our whole core is literally potential. No. Hold on. Our whole core is literally potential. If we weren't talking potential, we would go and trade all these young guys for accomplished vets. It is potential. It's a big reason why Ausar is still on his team and in the starting lineup is because of his potential. So you can't say we don't do potential.
That's a whole different topic. We're talking about the top 10 defense of all time for the Pistons. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about where this team is going. That has nothing to do with nothing.
That's my point. I'm looking at his potential as an individual player. Based on what he has already shown. For me.
Has somebody ever made the Hall of Fame based off potential?
No, they haven't. But his career. But listen, has anybody ever been in the Hall of Fame before their career is over? No.
But guess what? They have to finish the career first. They
have
to do the work first before they get the accolades. I'm not giving nobody no damn accolades off potential.
Okay, I am. And he's the only one that gets that for me. So is Isaiah Stewart not in your top 10 either? He's a young player. Hold on.
At the bottom.
Is he in your top 10?
He would have to be 10.
Why is he in your top 10?
Just because of what I've seen consistently since he's been here.
He didn't start doing this until last year, bro. He didn't start doing this until last year. Nobody was talking about how great of a defensive player Stu was until last year.
That's because a lot of people hated him.
Until last year, huh? It's because of what?
A lot of people hated him. I wasn't that guy. They was trying to make him shoot threes. That was his coach. That wasn't his fault. I knew what he was.
Bro, even we weren't talking about him being
going up against Wiseman in college. I knew who the hell I was watching before he came to the Pistons.
Before last year, would you have had him in your top 10? No.
I probably wouldn't know.
No.
Exactly. So you're basing him there off of what you saw of last season. Last season was what got you there. One season is what got you there.
That was
saying if anybody can make this top 10 off of that team, that current team, that whole team, it would be Stu, and it would have to be 10. That's being
But
nice.
it was based off of what he did last year. You're missing the point. It's based off what he did last year. Before last year, he was nowhere near this list for anybody until last year. So why are we looking at Ausar, who did a lot of this? So why are we doing the same thing with Ausar, who had equal impact to Stu, but we can't put him in there because it's only 1 year? When before last year, nobody had Stu in the top 10 before last season. Last year is what put him there for everybody. It was last year. That's what put him there. So I'm putting Ausar in there for the same reason, because of what I saw in a smaller sample size.
Off my list.
You said what?
If it's my list, Ausar getting the hell off my list.
Well, go ahead and make you one, and I'll break yours down too. This mine.
Stu has shown more, though. I mean, we know things about Stu. We know that he's one of the best rim protectors in basketball. The numbers prove it. We've seen highlights of him being one of the few guys that can stifle Giannis when going at the rim. Like, that's a fact. Those are things that we've seen proven already. We've seen McCade was clapping as Stu was locking up. Right. This what he's proven, though. That's what I'm saying. And even before that, he was out guarding guys like Trae Young on an island, guarding other guards on an island and holding his own. Tyrese Maxey. Like, he was doing those things on a consistent basis. He also doesn't have the health problems that
Stu was always known as
that's a good fact. He was always known. I agree. He was always known as a defensive. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is he's always been a defensive-minded player, but he hasn't had anywhere close to this impact until last year.
But Ausar hasn't had that yet, though.
Was good last year was because they coaching change. What are you talking about?
So you're going to discredit all the work that Stu put in this offseason? He became a totally different player, bro. It wasn't just because of Coach Bickerstaff. That's not fair.
In better positions. You had one coach that was pushing him out to the 3-point line. The other coach told him to go and be good at what you're good at. That's the difference.
I'm not talking about offense. I'm talking about one-on-one, mano-a-mano at the rim, playing great rotational defense and just blocking the shot. That's what I'm talking about. Not offensive, not shooting threes, not sticking to who you are offensively. I'm talking about just making incredible defensive plays on his own.
But he's giving you more than just potential, though. That's the difference between the two. Ausar is just potential at this point. Everybody else that we've talked about thus far has proven I can guard 1 through 5. I can shut down superstars. I can anchor a top 10 defense. Ausar has not proven that yet.
Here is my point, what I was making. It's not just about the offense. It's just the fact that Stu got to be who he was supposed to be. You've seen that everybody, we still got, it still lingers for some of the fan base with Jaden Ivey. Jaden Ivey was looked at to be a bad player because of the coach he was up under. He had Killian Hayes playing in front of him. The coach does matter. The culture does matter.
I didn't say it didn't matter.
The playing style, all of that matter. Stu did improve. He did improve, but at the same time,
tremendously
he was allowed to be himself.
Tremendous. But Monty Williams,
these
I hear
players
you.
didn't have to worry about going to sit on the bench because they made a bad play or they fouled here. They was allowed to be themselves.
All I'm saying is that before last season alone, nobody was talking about Isaiah Stewart and how great of a defender he was. They were saying he is solid. Now, last year, he's one of the top defenders in the league because of what happened in one season. He's always been known to be a defensive-minded player, but nobody looked at him as a top-tier defensive player before last year. And King is right. The coach does play a part in it, but I'm not going to sit up here and say that was the only reason why he became that, because King always talks about the work he puts in the offseason. That dude is always working on his defense. And so I'm not going to discredit that. And I'm going to look at what he did. And why people are saying he is who he is because of last year. That is what people are looking. If you ask people to talk about Isaiah Stewart, they're going to reference something that happened last year, not anything else. It's going to be based off of last year. So based off of that, since we're talking about what happened primarily to get him to this point, it's been a year's time. The same thing with Ausar Thompson. You can say the same thing for him. He didn't play as much. I get it. He made a lot of mistakes. I get it. But I feel like the impact level between those two guys last year was close to the same as far as how they were able to impact the game defensively. And because of that, being consistent with that, that's why I have them back to back.
Nah.
I don't know about same.
I can't give it same.
Close. You can even say close, and that's why I have him 7 and SR 8. Okay.
Listen, I'm not even talking about Ausar the Mo. He out my top 10. Stu, here's the real reason why Stu will get in my top 10. I feel comfortable enough to put Stu after what I've seen over his whole time as a Piston.
Mm-hmm.
I feel comfortable enough to put him on one of those other championship teams and still say that we would be really, really good defensively. That is the difference. I can't put Ausar in front of Tracy McGrady. I can't do that. Not at this point. Because he can't even stay on the ground right now at this point, bro.
Oh, to guard him, you mean?
Yes.
Is that okay.
So certain matchups,
Kobe
and T-Mac, I can't do that yet. So I got to leave him out. Stu, I bring him in because of that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not mad at that. That's a solid point.
Yeah, this is based on accomplishments and what we've seen thus far. Even people in the comments saying, any team in the league would love to have Ausar. I'm sure they would, based on the potential they think he can bring with his athleticism. Like Stu has shown, again, he can be a rim protector. He can guard on the island, and so can Ausar. But has he shown to be a great rim protector in the same breath? Not necessarily. Like Stu has played 72 games last season. I think he's played 70 plus early in his year as well, while also having some injury issues in between a couple other years. But he's proven more, especially off of last season. Last season proved that he's one of the best defenders in basketball. Ausar is only showing he could be one of the best defenders in basketball. We have not seen that yet out of him on a consistent enough basis to put him in a top 10 stamped list on a team like the Detroit Pistons who thrive on defensive.
I hear what you're saying. I think it's a little bit of a short memory to act like before last season, people was talking about how Isaiah Stewart's going to be one of the best defenders in the league. Nobody was saying that, bro. Nobody was saying that. All this fanfare that Stu was getting didn't start before last year. They were looking at him as a solid backup, defensive-minded guy, hard foul you, no nonsense, running down LeBron. That was the narrative with Sheed. Or not with Stu. But it happened over one season. Is my point. The change, the start change.
He was elite.
Why did LeBron elbow Stu? Because he was pestering him. I knew then Stu was a good defender. I'm not like those, the in the moment crowd. I remember those plays that he did make in those steps he was taking before last season. I knew he was a good defender. Our team was horrible at that point. We had a bad coach and a bad team at that time. So I think
that affected both of them, though. I think that affected Ausar too. As much as Stu.
Even in the comments,
if we're being honest, can we acknowledge that?
I expect a lot of the comments in the comment section because I know for a fact some of these dudes in here, they're not the same age as we are. They didn't see some of these guys play. So I get it. I understand it. They're going to automatically be in the moment. I didn't see him play. What the hell am I going to say he's better for? The only thing
everybody here is not like that, though. We got a lot of young people. We got a pretty versatile.
I didn't say everybody. I said a lot of them guys in the comments they're young, man. So
Derek said I'm older than all you do.
I seen all
Talk
three
to him,
eras.
Derek. Talk to him.
I seen the bad boy era, the go to work Pistons, and all the way up to now. I seen all of them play live basketball.
Bro, that too. You act like I ain't here. Come on, what we doing?
I don't even want to do the era thing because that changes.
No. That changes the whole. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That changes the whole conversation.
In this lollipop league, the defense that we got right now, fine. Ausar has potential, but again, he is not getting in the top 10.
Listen, that's your list, and I feel it. But for me, I put more stock into that personally. So we can leave that there. So I got Stewart. Are y'all good with Stewart 7?
No, I gotta break Stu down. He can't be over Lindsay Hunter yet. I'm okay with him being in front of Spider Salley. I wouldn't put him over Lindsay Hunter right now. And I would kick. I obviously have a problem with Ausar being here.
And
already.
I can put him over Spider Salley because I can see Stu having the same role. I can see him having the same impact. That's why I can do that.
Like King just asked, do we think, or you asked Deuce, could in a year could it change? Yeah, but we're going on what we've seen thus far. And again, Ausar only has 2 seasons, and really it's like shrunken down. He's been hurt exactly. So to say he's all time already, I can't ride with that. Again, Stu is giving you enough to be put in an all-time conversation with this franchise. I don't think Ausar has given that yet. Again, this is a lot based on
if that's the case, I'm putting Bruce Brown and KCP and all these type of players on my list.
No. You know why? They never did either of those guys ever show the upside that Ausar Thompson showed. No, and it's not even close.
He
No,
did.
come
Yes,
on,
he
bro. Really?
Brown
Really?
did.
We're doing
What
that?
is he known for right now in the league?
Bro, who was talking about Bruce Brown and anybody's All-NBA list?
When he was here, Pistons fans was. Now we forgot
No,
about
I'm
Bruce
not.
Brown?
I'm not talking about Pistons fans. You just talked about how they biased
Hey,
and
you
always in
talking
the
about the
moment, right?
Pistons?
I'm talking about around the league. Who was talking about Bruce Brown being an All-NBA defender? What are we doing? Stop
Oh my
this.
God.
Nobody's
Nobody's
talking
talking
Pistons
about
at all.
the
Pistons were getting no
Pistons
talk
fans.
back then
Everybody
at all.
else is talking about Amin Thompson. What are you talking about?
What do you mean? What do you? Huh?
Nobody's talking about Ausar but Pistons fans.
Really?
The only
So-
time
no,
you hear
no, that's
Ausar's
not
name
true.
is when you
That's not
watching
true.
a Pistons game.
That's
Nobody
not-
is sitting there
Bro,
talking about Ausar.
you're really-
Who's talking about Ausar?
You really just compared Bruce Brown to Ausar Thompson defensively?
Who? Who's talking about Ausar? I
I
haven't
will-
on no TV shows and
Okay.
heard him talking about Ausar.
Okay, I have. I'll show you. How about that?
Have you seen any podcast somebody say, yeah, that is Ausar?
Yeah, Brian Windhorst, all these Zach Lowe, Brian Windhorst, all these guys talk about Ausar
Because they was
Thompson.
talking about the Pistons in general.
No, I'm not
They
talking about that.
multiple
I'm not
players.
talking about that. I'm talking about individually. I'll show you. We'll leave it there. Otherwise, we'll go all night. Let's move on, man. Let's move on. Let's go to number 6. I got Rick Mahorn number 6. Thoughts on that?
I'm fine with that.
See how the conversation just switched up real quick, y'all?
Because I know what he is. I know what he's done.
Yeah.
He has the background.
Okay, what about you, Eric?
credentials are there.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it at all. He's all time. I mean, he's a part of an all time defense. I mean, one of the most important bad boys in NBA history. Yeah, I don't have a problem at all with Rick Mahorn being where he's at. Again, he showed enough consistency through his career. As a rim protector. One of very active rebounder. Rick Mahorn did a lot and proved a lot. I feel like this isn't, again, it's not a potential conversation. Obviously, he's retired now, so it's a little different.
Right.
But yes, he's shown enough to be, a part of this list. I don't know if I would go as high as 6, but I think maybe between 6, maybe through 8, I think would be fine enough for him.
Gang, anything else on that?
I live in a box, so I don't know, man. First time, you obviously probably a 20-year-old, man. Be quiet. Anyway, the grown folks are talking.
Go ahead.
Rick Mahorn, it's obvious. I what do you even need to say? It is obvious. I mean, Rick Mahorn, Bill Laimbeer, that's obvious.
Yeah, like for me, like because those guys, because what they brought defensively from not even just from a mental standpoint. We always talk about the physicality, but the mental standpoint, they could take you out of your game. They could literally take the best player out of the game mentally, yapping at them, just getting in their face, just making things very uncomfortable for him. That I think was one of his biggest things. He wasn't a super athlete, but he was a guy who was played very good positional defense, very smart defender, very crafty defender, and he can get in your head. And I think that was what really gave him an edge, playing those bad boys days with guys like Bill Laimbeer, we're going to get to, and guys like, James Edwards and all these different guys who were on that squad. John Salley, as we mentioned. So I think he has a rightful place on this list, and I have him right there at 6. I think that's a good spot for him. Okay, that one quick. All right, let's move on to the next one. Let's move on to number 5. Bill the Thrill Laimbeer.
Obvious.
Thoughts on this? Let's start with you, E.
Yep, no argument at all. Averaged over 10 rebounds at least like 4 or 5 times in his career. Again, kind of what we said with Rick Mahorn. He laid down a lot of the groundwork and the foundation as an all-time defender for this team. I mean, he was great on the glass, physical with everybody, didn't back down for nothing. Bill absolutely deserves to be here. I ain't got no problem with his placement at all.
Okay.
Same thing. That's obvious. You know what I'm saying? It's Bill Laimbeer. You talking even top 5, you got to put him in there.
Yeah, I couldn't leave my top 5, bro.
Yeah, you just have to put him in there.
I couldn't do it. Like a lot of people, when you think about rebounding titles and all-time rebounders for teams, you might think Andre Drummond, you might think Ben Wallace. Bill Laimbeer is far and away the leader in Pistons rebounds.
Yes, he's the patriarch of bad boys.
Yes, he is yes, 100%. And he wasn't like Rick Mahorn. He wasn't a super athlete. You couldn't slide tissue up under his feet when he jumped. Like, dude didn't have a vert. But he played great positional defense. He was a banger. And he just had this relentlessness about him, bro.
Always.
Like this dude, he was relentless to it. It was insane. Just what he was afraid of nobody. Like you saw just how impactful these guys were. Like, for example, when Rick Mahorn left, when the Pistons lost him to the expansion draft, you saw how teams started getting a little bit more brave as far as pushing back. Right? It's just the impact that these guys had. Once again, you felt it when it wasn't there. And he was an incredible rebounder, bro. For him to not be able to have any kind of vert or really crazy top tier athleticism and to be able to do what he did just to secure the rebound, it was incredible. Incredible, man. And once again, obviously part of that 2-time back-to-back championship run. So yeah, I had to put him here. I couldn't put him any lower than 5.
So
y'all
listen,
go with that? Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to address this real quick in the comments. Don't be disrespectful. I see the comment that you made, Sports Time. Listen, you want to be a young little sassy dude, do that somewhere else. We put you out of here in a heartbeat, bro. We don't play sassy dudes here. We don't like that.
I didn't see what it was, so I don't even know what's going on.
I don't think he don't like me either.
Right now, that's usual with y'all Gen Zers, bro. Y'all soft and sensitive. Do your thing somewhere.
Let's just can we all just get along tonight, y'all?
No, we can't. I don't like that. Don't get season.
No, we out here. Let's get to it.
You want to be disrespectful.
Right. Let's keep it respectful, y'all. We just having fun conversation. I know we really get into it. You know, me and King always going at it, but that's just part of our relationship. Honestly, even now you're talking basketball, we always going at each other's head. But let's keep it respectful. Let's keep it fun. It's a fun conversation in the middle of the season, middle of off season. Let's just have fun with it. You know, keep it respectful. Let's just keep moving. All right. Derek says only guy able to get under Bird's skin, 100%. He got all the way up under Larry Bird's skin. That being Bill Laimbeer. He just had that mindset, man, that he didn't care. He would not mind sacrificing himself and getting ejected if it meant that their best player was going to be going with him. So things like that, he really had a huge impact for the team. Had to have him in this conversation. Derek Pullen says, love and yeah. Let's keep respectful. Keep respectful. All right, let's keep moving. Let's go to number 4. Tayshaun Prince. I have Tayshaun firmly at number 4 for a lot of the reasons that King mentioned. I feel like the difference between a guy like Ausar and Tayshaun, I think Ausar is more athletic, but Tayshaun's brain, bro, his brain power, his brain. He was a basketball savant, bro. He was a wizard defensively, just as far as just understanding how to play individual defense and team defense. He was kind of like a backbone for the Pistons on that team. You know, Ben Wallace was the anchor. But as far as being able to guard multiple spots and things like that, he kind of brought a lot of same things that we're hoping to get from Ausar as he, you know, continues to fulfill that potential that I'm talking about. But yeah, Ausar has so many moments. Like Eric talks about moments. Ausar does have, or not Ausar, but Tayshaun does have those moments. You know, the block on Reggie Miller, you know, not shutting down, but playing great defense on T-Mac, making life hell for Kobe, making him shoot really low efficiency from the field, like just everything. He just was one of those guys that could do it all for you in the basketball court. Couldn't put him any lower than 4. So thoughts on that?
Tayshaun, man, you know, like I see a couple of comments say that they don't want to put him in front of Bill Laimbeer. That's understandable. Like I said, he was the patriarch of the bad boys. I get that. Okay. You don't win the championship without Tayshaun Prince.
Absolutely not.
At all.
No chance.
At all. And you could probably pretty much say that with anybody in these top 5, you know what I'm saying? But Tayshaun, not just the block play, he had to defend some really hard guys out there.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We talking about Kobe Bryant. You know what I'm saying? So somebody I got in my top 3. So and he had to do it as a young pup. So, you know, like I said, that respect is just I gotta have him in the top 5 somewhere. He just has to be somewhere. Even if it's at number 5, I can get with you, Derek. But at 4, I'm content with that.
He came in as a rookie guarding T-Mac. I mean, and that's in that Orlando series. King, you remember this? I know for sure you do. I think Eric, you might remember this too. They were down 3-1 to the Orlando Magic in that first round series. It was the first year they brought the Game 7 format back for the first round series. So had that not happened, the Pistons would have lost 3 games to 1.
He's a T-Mac about it to this day.
Yeah, they always go at it about that. It's crazy. But yeah, like they were down 3-1. And then after that, because Michael Curry was the starter at small forward at that time, and he was getting cooked. He was getting cooked. But he was older at that time. He just wasn't athletic enough. He wasn't big enough. He wasn't long enough. He was just wasn't able to handle him. And T-Mac was averaging like 35 points up to that point. And then you see Tayshaun Prince entered into the game, you know, as a starter. You know, shout out to Rick Carlisle for making that adjustment. But then you see his length and his height really bothered T-Mac. And he really wasn't able to get to his spots like he wanted to. And he changed the whole complexity of that series. The Magic never won another game, and they won 7 games. So when you see the impact like that, it's literally in your face. You know, a guy is not playing a lot. Your team's down 3-1. You start him, play more minutes, and then win the series. Like, that's impact. It doesn't get any more clear than that kind of situation. So what do you guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. Yeah, the way he was able to fill in for Michael Curry, who was getting older at that point. And again, we talking about defense, but the way Tayshaun's offensive game kind of evolved through that stretch as well was really cool to watch. But yeah, I mean, he got the nickname of the long arm of the law, the Palace Prince. Like, he earned that for a reason. And he was like, again, LeBron gets so much of the pub as the chase down king. Tayshaun had a few chase downs where he was a reason that the Pistons were able to keep games, as they were. Again, being able to help backside against the teams like the Pacers, like he was in the thick of where those like rivalries and where those hard hitting games like were involved in. He was fantastic, like you said, shutting down guys like Kobe, giving him hell in the finals, giving T-Mac hell in that playoff series. Even guys like Dwayne Wade, like granted, Wade ended up becoming a superstar and cooking him in unbelievable fashion. But early in his day, like when the Pistons won that Game 7, I think it was 2006, I forgot which year it was, but Tayshaun was a big reason behind a lot of that. And his defensive prowess was really, really useful for this team. Again, it was a lot of great shot blockers, and Tayshaun was the second best one on that legendary franchise. So Tayshaun deserves his respect for sure.
Beautifully said.
Yeah, I agree with all that, bro. I don't think there's any argument here with Tayshaun at number 4. I was debating between 3 and 4 for him, but once again, I had to look at the guys who were ahead of him, and I'm just like, So speaking of that, let's go ahead and go to who is ahead of Tayshaun Prince at 4. Let's go to number 3. At number 3, guys, I have Joey D. Joe Dumars. The silent assassin, man. Man, this go ahead, King. Get in there.
He should have been number 1 the way that he blocked us from winning more championships. Anyway, no, seriously. In all seriousness, no, man.
Shots fired, bro. Man.
That's crazy.
He blocked us from keeping bid. I can go all day.
My gosh.
Seriously, on the serious note, man, if you had a chance to watch him play basketball, man, listen, it takes a lot for the greatest player of all time to respect you as a defender.
Yep.
Man, this dude, like I said, it just cerebral. Another guy just like Tayshaun, man, just mentally just cerebral, brilliant on defense, man. Him and Isaiah was talking about how they'd be up to 3-4 o'clock in the morning, just talking about how to stop guys, watching games and stuff like that. He's the schoolmaster, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of these guys up under him, man, they're the students. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
It's I can't even, like I said, it just because of the guys in front of him, I would love to have him higher on this list, but the guys in front of him, you got to have him at 3. You just have to.
Yeah. E?
Yeah, and he was undersized too. Like,
yes, he was.
Joe D wasn't a guy that had mad range and was able to just like be everywhere. He was a great on-ball lockdown guy. Like, I remember watching one of my favorite movies, Michael Jordan's Playground, and I remember the segment he had talking about how Joe D was the one guy that gave him any kind of problems. You could see the plays going back and forth where he's pushing him off the block or standing in front of him, where he thought he had a spin move and a shot open, and Joe D was right there. And again, Mike hated the whole team. Even to this day, he hates Michael or Isaiah Thomas, which I think is something different, but we'll talk about that later. Yeah, he hated that whole team, but he had the most respect for Joe D, and it was clear as day. Joe was extremely impressive as a defender. Again, as a 6'3" guy, being able to limit a 6'5", 6'6" elite level athlete score like MJ and other guards of that ilk around that time. Yeah, Joe D. Yeah, it's hard to put him higher than he is, but he's in that royalty class for sure.
At 6'3", right. Jordan was 6'6", man. He was giving him 3 inches. Yep. So I mean that's a big deal. And he wasn't the athlete that Jordan was. You said, okay?
Major pause.
Big pause.
Give him the 3 inches. Whoa.
Man, I knew he was gonna catch me at some point, bro. I knew he was gonna catch me at some point. You got one coming. Rashad Walker says number 2 should be very interesting. 2 Dennis without question. Maybe surprised. Marvin says yes. Yeah. No Diddy. You know King got to throw at least 1 per episode, bro. So that's why I ain't messing with him too much. Anyway, let's go to number 2. And this is when it gets really interesting for a lot of people. This is where most of the pushback, honestly, I got from. This is kind of what sent the engagement through the roof. I have Dennis Rodman at number 2. I have the Worm at number 2. I went back and forth for I don't know how long with 2 and 1. And we'll get to the accolades later. But I feel like it's really a crapshoot when you get to these guys. I feel like Ben and Dennis Rodman are interchangeable as far as who you could have at one. And Dennis was a guy who could guard all 5 positions. He guarded all 5 positions.
Sure.
Won Defensive Player of the Year twice. He was just relentless. He was relentless, man. So like I think a couple games he had 30 plus rebounds, which is insane. Like he just did things that only guys like Wilt Chamberlain did. Just the numbers, the sheer numbers, and just the sheer impact that he had on the basketball court is ridiculous. So I definitely think it was 1 or 2 for him. I settled on 2. What do you guys thoughts on that? And before you guys weigh in, I want to give a shout out to my guy, Slim Holland, Ron Holland Sr. Pulled up on this crash of show.
Good OG.
So gotta show some love to the OG.
Good to see you.
He said, man, 313 family, what up though? Let's go. Can't wait for the season to start. Damn it. Hey, we can't either, bro.
You know
Go
what?
ahead,
I'm
King.
glad he's on here because I said, I did all this shouting and yelling about Ausar, right? Because he don't have the credentials to me to be on this list. Guys like Ron Holland too. Those are the guys are the next tier that's coming. You see what I'm saying? Those are the guys that's coming to me. That's crazy.
For sure.
Paul.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because of who you was talking about, I didn't say it. You know what I'm saying?
Look, seriously, those
go
are
ahead.
the guys that are coming, next up. You know what I'm saying? They'll have them credentials to get into this top 10.
Yeah. The fact that we're even talking about like him being in that conversation already is crazy because he just completed his rookie season last year. So go ahead.
He was giving people problems too. He was
100%
ready to fight out there. So
100%.
that's always a good sign of where he's going defensively.
100%.
This is tough for me, man. You should know why.
Yep.
Ben Wallace is my favorite Piston of all time. I had an afro when I was younger. I thought I was Ben Wallace. I played center in high school. I thought I was Ben Wallace. I was undersized center in school. You know what I'm saying? I bought Dennis Rodman shoes, bro. You know how ugly those was.
I know I did too.
You know, so you had to really be a fan about them shoes, bro.
Hey, couldn't nobody tell us nothing different at the time, though.
Bro. When you look at the credentials of both, right? Rodman was a janitor at the airport. We know the story. Coming to the Pistons, man, and just showed out. Ben Wallace, undrafted, Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Like, defensive titles. I kind of gotta. It's tough.
I know it's hard, bro. It's like, and that's the thing. Like, I'm not mad at whoever you got to choose 1 or 2.
Though. Okay, I can stay with it now.
Okay.
Because you mentioned that at the top of the show. We talking as Pistons because I'm looking at Rodman. Rodman.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly. Exactly.
Do that.
Exactly.
Rodman went to the Bulls and kept doing it.
Well,
he got a little weird, but
see,
that's got him for a reason.
That's true. So, Go ahead. Finish.
You know what I'm saying? And then when Ben was a little bit older, when he left, he was a little bit older. But like I said, when I look at somebody go to another team and continue to do it and win championships, multiple championships, I kind of want to give him the edge. But as a Piston,
right,
Ben Wallace just meant more defensively.
Right.
Rodman was a guy that they threw in the game, you know what I'm saying, to be a defensive problem. Ben Wallace was the defense.
Right.
Yeah.
He was the whole defense. You know what I'm saying? It was Chauncey Billups was the floor general. Ben Wallace was the heart and soul and defense of the team. So you know what? You're accurate with these two.
What you think, Eric?
Yeah, I'm cool with it. I didn't see much of the back and forth about this, but I like the way King just broke it down. If we want to go like all time, I can understand people putting Rodman ahead. If we going just off Piston resumes, I don't like that it's not close conversation, but I do think it's Ben. I think Ben is the right choice here. Again, Ben was the defense. He was the guy that was, covering, if you got beat, okay, Ben is right there swatting it out of bounds. You need an extra possession. Okay, Ben was right there. Like Dennis has the great, knack of being the below the rim rebounder. Ben was just a great rebounder no matter where the ball was. Like if you needed needed extra position, whether it was on defense or offense, Ben was going to clean it up. And again, I think he's the best shot blocker of all time. And I think just being able to be the formed identity of the Pistons defense, it means a little bit more than saying Dennis Rodman, who again was a great piece to a great team defense. Even though they were great team defenses both together, I think Ben was the face of the 04 Piston defense. I don't know if I can say the exact same thing about Dennis Rodman with the Bad Boys. Like, again, I understand the argument for him, but I just think Ben just covered everything. He didn't really cover outside the way Dennis Rodman did, and I'll give him that. But in terms of shot blocking, cleaning the glass, his paint protection, I think Ben is the best shot blocker of all time and one of the best just paint protectors in NBA history. So I would give it to Ben for sure out of that. I'm cool with him being there too.
I think that's the difference. I think the gap between who was a better perimeter defender, which I would give to Dennis Rodman, I think that gap is smaller than the gap between who's a better interior defender. I think Ben was a much better interior defender. And I think for me, that's the slightest of difference is kind of why, because I'm looking at 1 through 5. Who's the best 1 through 5 defender as well? And I think 1 through 5, I think I have to give it to Ben because I think he was above Dennis in the department of interior defense than opposed to Dennis being the superior player as far as perimeter defense. So I think that's the smallest of margins. But for me, that was what it came down to as far as putting who where as far as 1 and 2. So it was super close, bro. I went back and forth for a while trying to decide who to put there. Marvin is saying Thon Maker, aka Thon. Come on, bro.
chill, bro.
Derek Pullen says Ben was a better shot blocker. Yeah, keep in mind Rodman came off the bench until his 5th season with the Pistons. That's very true. I believe it was Mark Aguirre who was getting those minutes, or it was somebody else was getting the minutes in place of him until his defense kind of just was too impactful to keep him off the floor. Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, just quick point. I think Artest won the DPOY the 03-04 year. When he was with Indiana, you could have made an argument that Ben could have still got that, and it would have been 5. Ben got 4 in his trophy case, even though Mason only said 2 during the playoffs or whatnot against the Knicks. He could have had 5 for real. He really had an argument to be there. I don't know if the voters got fatigue at that point or what it was, but he had an argument to get 5 in a row, and I think he deserved it for real.
It did, like I said, to me, Ben Wallace had the most important role in the finals.
Absolutely.
He had the most.
Watch Shaq,
bro.
Yes,
absolutely.
Shaq. We talking about the most dominant player to ever play, Shaq.
Yes.
So,
no, you're right. His ability,
defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
I was on the cover of 2K. Like,
yes, 04 or 05. Yeah. No, but you're right, King. His ability to play him straight up is what threw the whole Lakers offensive game plan off. Running that triangle offense, they looking for that double every single time. And when it didn't come with Ben, it made things harder for guys like Kobe to be able to get into space, especially when you got Tayshaun Prince guarding you. So like you mentioned, it all started with him as that anchor. So let's go ahead and move to number 1, Ben Wallace, man. We talked about it already, but we got to continue the conversation with Ben, bro. Like the things he was able to do at 6'9", 240 is ridiculous. It don't make no sense, bro. It makes absolutely no sense. Like some of the things he was able to do on a basketball court, and he had the mindset to go with it. Like, you talked about how, you both guys talked about how with Lindsay Hunter, he never took any plays off. No. Ben Wallace was a guy who didn't get a lot of touches offensively. We see a lot of guys in this league, their defense is predicated on their offensive touches. They get lazy on or defense when they don't get the ball on the block. You see them when they don't get the ball, miss shot, they're jogging down the court because they didn't get the ball. Like Ben Wallace was a guy who more times than not many times didn't even touch the ball on certain possessions. Mm-hmm. But he didn't care about offense. He just cared about winning, and he knew for him it meant on the other end. So for him to have that kind of motor, despite not doing what a lot of guys love to do, which is score the basketball, right? And I think he knew that he wasn't that guy. But even at times, it's still nice to be able to feel a part of the offense. And credit to Larry Brown for making him feel a part of the offense. But he still wasn't getting the ball a lot. So for him to still have the mindset and motor on the defensive end, despite that, to me it just says wonders about his mentality.
Man, we talking about somebody who went from the dark ages of the Pistons and then turned this franchise around.
That's right.
And made them a wrecking squad, bro. Like Dennis didn't have to experience that. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, it's just, his impact on the Pistons is unmatched. And that's with any Piston player through any era, through any position.
Yep.
It's just unmatched, man. He's one of them guys that's just, you got Isaiah Thomas, you got Ben Wallace, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, it's not even close. You just have to have him number 1. When you say Pistons defense, the first name that's going to pop up in your mouth is Ben Wallace. I don't care how old you are or what era you're from. Yeah.
And I think anybody would acknowledge that. When it's that obvious like that, I think anybody would get a respect to what he meant to this team. Eric, anything else on that, bro?
Yeah, man. I just, you can't stop speaking about how great Ben was. Like, if you were blessed to watch him back then, it was an absolute treat. And again, this is the era where if you listen to people now, I mean, there's people who talk about, they're only scoring 60 and 70 points back then.
Yeah,
but it was still watchable basketball when they were doing it. Like, it wasn't ugly like it is now, where people just come jack up 300 threes and it's just unwatchable. Those games where it was like 65, 66 against the Nets or the Pacers, that was A1 fun basketball to watch. Like, that was fantastic. Ben was at the heart of all of it. 6 straight years averaging double-digit rebounds. I think 3 straight seasons where he had at least 3 blocks a game, which is unheard of. I mean, the only person doing that now is like Wemby. And at this point, you look at Ben again. He's not a 7'3", machine. He was 6'9", and people even thought he was smaller than that. Ben was all over the place, bro. It was unbelievable watching him, impact the game the way he did from a 6'9" frame for the Detroit Pistons.
Also, a very unique body frame, because at that size, with the amount of muscle mass that he had, he was still able to get up the court and run like a gazelle. You know what I'm saying? A lot of what made it fun and watchable to those points, those 65-point games, was when they got those blocks and steals, it was an automatic fast break.
Right.
It was just fun to watch. It was almost like watching the Showtime Lakers sometimes, man. That they would run down there on them fast breaks, man. And like I said, Ben could move, get up and down the court easy, catch an alley-oop on your head if he needed to. Like I said, it's just, man, it's enough said. And
then too, bro, like, I just compare the eras. I know in this respect, King, we don't like comparing eras, right? But I just look at the guys that they had to defend. We know a lot of the guys, a lot of power forwards in the late 80s, early 90s. A lot of those guys were bruisers. Those guys are great. Right. Not taking anything away from those guys, but it was just a different game then. But you think about the guys that Ben had to guard. I mean, you got some of the best ever. You got Tim Duncan, Shaq, KG, Dirk, Dwight Howard, Chris Webber, Sheed in Portland, Jermaine O'Neal. Like, you know what I mean? Pau Gasol, Chris Bosh.
Bigs were the face of the league back then.
Yes. Alonzo Mourning, Stoudemire, Zach Randolph. Like, it was so many guys, bro, in their prime that he had to go up against and still was able to grab multiple Defensive Player of the Year awards. Like 4 of them. That's insane to me.
And that's why I say guys like Isaiah Stewart are starting to earn them stripes, because it's back to a big man's league. These teams got multiple bigs now, and Stu's undersized, and he's a threat to these guys out there. So it makes him a lot more special, you know what I'm saying? And if he continue to be who he is and continue to improve, man, then it wouldn't be a question to have, Isaiah Stewart anywhere in this list in the back tier of it, man. Yeah. And with him, because we're talking about, as Pistons, I think there's a good chance that Isaiah Stewart could play at least most of his career, at least as the Detroit Piston. Right? King always talks about how, he's out working on his land, and he's building roots here. You know what I mean? So it seems like he's the kind of guy that could be sustainable defensively for a long time. And like you mentioned, King, he fits that mold. He fits the mold to a T of what Detroit basketball is, especially defensively. So I hope he's a Pistons lifer. I could see him being one of those guys like Udonis Haslem, who is just on, late in their career, they're on the bench, but they're providing that leadership, that toughness, and moving up into, the front office eventually. Something like I could see him being one of those kind of guys who has a role with this team for a long time, even after his playing career is over. Go ahead.
Do y'all think he was the most important piece of that 04 team, or would you say Chauncey?
Ben? I say yes because of the identity. It was always defense first. It was always defense first, and because of that, without Chauncey, you're not sniffing a championship, right? But I think what Ben brought on the defensive side of the ball made things easier for a guy like Chauncey, because he could press up defensively, because he knows he has Ben on the backside with Rasheed. He's got Tayshaun there to help if he needs to hedge or something like that. I think because of that, because of their identity, I think Ben was more important. And I think when he left, the Pistons never sniffed the finals again. And I think a big part of that is because they didn't have that anchor that was Air. So I would say Ben was more important by this much.
And the reason why you're on point. You're on 100% on point, because if you look at it, the Pistons offensively were not super talented. You had to hold these teams to 70, 75, 80 points in order to beat them, because you didn't have that. We didn't draft Carmelo. We drafted Darko. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You had to have that defense. And without that, it would have been really hard, whether Chauncey was who he was or not, to beat a lot of these teams, because these teams could score. You had to stop that. And in order to stop that, you had to have Ben Wallace.
Yeah, I mean, going against the Kmart, going against the Jermaine O'Neal, and then going against a Shaq, like, you don't have a chance in those series without that guy. I mean, I just think he was, I think he was the biggest difference maker. What do you think, Eric?
I used to push back in that discussion a little bit just because they did see a little bit of success under Flip Saunders because he obviously wanted to turn them into an offensive juggernaut. That's why Ben left. That's why it just didn't work out. But they still did, I think, get to the ECF, if I'm not mistaken, one more time.
2 more.
Chauncey was still, in his prime playing fantastic basketball. And then when he left and Iverson came in, that's where everything really hit a downhill spiral. But I'm kind of coming around to it now because even though like Chauncey would, they didn't really have a proper replacement for him. They didn't have a proper replacement for Ben either. I mean, Dice was cool. Sheed was kind of checking out for a little bit after a while.
Muhammad.
Bringing in Nazi Muhammad, old Chris Webber. Like it was ugly trying to find that replacement.
The exact reason they couldn't get to the cup and finish in those years was simply because they couldn't stop the other squad.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Because like you mentioned, they became an offensive squad. Right, they were scoring 100, but giving up 110, and 110 points back then was a lot. So like they were just trading, and you saw the identity flip, and it didn't feel the same.
No, not at all. I think Heisenberg got the best comment I've seen. He said Chauncey was the team's brain, and Ben was the heart. I love that. That's such a great comment. I love that.
I like that. I like that because you can't function without either one.
Thanks.
That's a good comment. Anything else on that, guys?
No, man, not at all. Shout out
back to Ausar, man. It's like,
listen,
shout out to you, dear. I love that Max, man. I swear, I love Max, man.
Okay, for sure. Listen, I know this wasn't part of the show, but the Pistons 2K26 rankings came out. I kind of want to go through those real quick.
Let's go through them real quick. You
know what I'm saying? I kind of want to check that out. So let me go ahead and pull that up because there was also a lot more engagement and buzz about this when this dropped as far as who, should they have been there, what the ranking should have been, whatever. So let's pull this up. And they got 1 through 10 here available, at least here. Or they got, everybody's here. They got everybody. All right. So let's start at the top, right? Let's start with Cade Cunningham. They have Cade going into next season overall at 92, 3.83, dunk 75. Do you guys think 92 is fair for Cade? Thoughts on that?
I think it's fair.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with 92. I think that's good for him. Again, that's elite for sure. I think he started off in like the 80s when he first got drafted.
84.
And just kind of made his way up. I think 92 is fantastic for him. That's a really good number.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. What you think, King? Can you good on that?
That's a perfect number for him. That's fair. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, 92. I mean, obviously, the 83 for a three-pointer, 75 for dunk. He a dunk on you, but he's not a dunker. So I ain't got a problem with that. That's fine.
It's the first time we've had somebody in the 90s in a long time. I would say, was Blake ever in the 90s? Maybe 1 year, maybe he sniffed 90. He should have been.
That year when he was the All-Star, he should have been for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
He was one of the 10 best players in basketball at that point.
I agree. So he was probably last, 6 years ago, 2019 when he was here? So last guy. All right. Let's move on to, real quick, I want to ask you guys this with every guy. Where do you think Kate will be by the end of the season? Or by next year?
He can get to 95.
That's kind of, I'm at 94. I'm at 94.
What's the high? Do we know what the highest number is for, like, I'm sure it's probably Jokic or
I think last year was like 96 or 97.
Okay.
I think it was 96 last year.
Okay. So I can see Cade trending to 94 then probably.
Yeah.
I can see he can be in a 94 then. Yeah. I don't think that's bad. He get that 3-point shot up, keep expanding as a defender. Yeah, I can see him at around 94.
Yeah, I'm with it. Shout out to Cade, man. Putting in the work, working his way up, getting better every single year. Shout out to him, man. Let's move on to yes, sir. Let's move on to JD. They have JD at 84, 3.35, which if you guys have seen some of the offseason content with him in the gym, I don't know if that will go up or not. Maybe it will. We'll see. But then you have Dunk at 80. So how you guys feel about JD at 84?
Bro, that's low.
I think so too.
To me, come on, 84, that's what you got a rookie coming in as sometimes.
Here's the thing.
I play 2K a lot, bro. 84 is low.
Yeah, I'm behind. I need y'all to school me on that one. That's low for you at this point? Okay.
I personally think, I think because he had such a slow start to the season is what factored in. I think if he had played the way he played the back half of the year, beginning of the season, where he's giving that two-way effort and you see he is understanding who he needs to be for this team, trying to be that defensive anchor and being opportunistic on offense, I think he's closer to 87.
I would say
86, 87.
86. 85, 86 is where he should have been. 84 is just that number. Like, it's just, bro, you bring rookies in at 84.
Yeah.
Like, please give him 85. Don't be disrespectful. Because with 2K, literally 1 decimal of a number is really, it means a lot.
Yeah, it is a big difference.
It's a big difference.
If you think he should be 85, 86, I don't think you should be that pressed about 84 then. I don't think that 1 point is crazy. I think
it just feels low to me. But like you said, that one number is a big difference. Like that 1 or 2 is a big difference as far as how people are viewed, as far as the tier player that you are. Go ahead, Ken.
Here's my logic. During 84, right? Double machine.
Facts.
Ausar, no offense whatsoever, just a defensive player. He's an 83.
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me.
Maybe that's based on his potential.
How do you see? That's what I'm saying. You got Ausar 83. It even get more disrespectful with Ivy, even though he was out.
Yeah, but once again,
82.
I know that's ridiculous, bro.
His dunk alone is 85. His 3-pointer is 84. Where is he lacking?
Right. You know what it is? The game's played. I think it's the same thing with JD. I think JD playing the way he did to start and Jaden going down before he could finish the season. Unfortunately, I think that's what it is. And people forget. People have short memories, bro. They forget. If you haven't played yesterday, they forgot about you. So
but you got to think about this logic. Stu's not a starter either, right? He's a defensive anchor of our team, right?
Right.
He's 77 and Ausar's 83. Neither one of them had. Stu has more offense than Ausar. Not knocking Ausar.
No, I'm with you.
So how do you give Ausar 83 then give Stu 77?
I'm telling you, bro, it's upside. That's how they're looking at it. I'm telling you, that's what it is. It may not be right. It may not be because, like I said, you're heavy on accolades, bro. You're heavy on what have you already done. So I feel it. I'm just saying the way they look at it is what they think he's going to be. Go ahead, Eric.
I'm not going to trip too much on 84. I feel like there's some areas where he can expand his game to maybe get him up a little bit higher. I don't understand how the hell his dunking is at 80 and Ausar's dunking is at 94 and Ivy's dunking is at 95. That don't make no damn sense. And I don't play video games like that no more. But to have him at an 80, well, that's the majority of his offensive game. What are we talking about?
That's what happens when you get a bunch of nerds giving ratings. That's what happens.
There it is.
Listen, Heisenberg Blue says Giannis was the only one that had more dunks than JD. 100%.
Exactly.
So there's no way, bro. He should be at
95 dunk pack. There's no way he should be at 80. That is insanity.
Yeah. Which
and
means
94. Come on, bro.
But that's why we're kind of saying his overall should be higher.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
See what I'm saying?
Okay,
like,
I agree with you. I see what you're saying now.
Man, that's tough, bro.
Yeah, I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling
Yikes.
that at all.
Okay.
That's ridiculous.
So, where is he going to be by the end of the season?
Probably like 87, 88.
That's what I was going to say. Probably 87,
I'm going to say 80. I'm going to say 87.
If that jump shot is real that we've been seeing all summer, then
Right.
maybe 88, 89. We'll see. Yeah, but he got a lot of it to show. Again, he got to grow his offensive game a little bit more. The defense is getting better and better. But yeah, I'm not too tripped about 84.
I think his dunk is definitely gonna go up. He's gonna have a lot more live opportunities with Ivy back because Ivy is gonna take that defense
for sure.
a lot.
Off the catch, putting pressure on the rim. Absolutely. Yeah, it's gonna be fine. Yeah, 100%. But 80 is egregious. That's insane, bro.
Yeah,
I didn't even peep that until you said that, Eric. That's wild.
That's crazy.
All right, so they have Ausar at 83 with a 3-pointer 56 and a dunk of 94, which is crazy. All right, I understand 94, bro. Like, I mean, he's got the athleticism. I'm not really too upset with him.
He don't do it a lot.
He just doesn't do it a lot. But I think a lot of it is opportunity too. I think next season he's gonna earn. I think he will earn the 94 by the end of the season. Where do you guys think he's going to be by the end of the season? He's at 83 now.
83.
Let them tell it. Let them tell it. He might be at a 95. We don't know.
Right. Yeah. No.
Put it together. Shoot. I'll say around 85. I think 85, 86 he can get up to.
I have him at 85
When
too.
you're an all defensive player, you should be no higher than 86, 87 to me automatically. So that makes his ceiling to me right now around 85. You have to show something offensively in order to get past that, especially on 2K. You have to show something offensive. Tobias, look, bro.
I think that's fair.
81.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think that's low for him because I think of
It
what
is.
we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But yeah, 100%. Devon says Blake Griffin was 86 through 88. Kate is probably our first 90 since 2. So I know Devon is a heavy 2K player. So those rankings must have been trash when Blake was playing. But that's wild. That's
Every
wild.
year
He was
is
only
always
He should have been a
trash.
91.
I agree.
Trash every year. Every year,
I agree.
2K is off. They all the ways off the ball, man.
Yeah. So we'll see. But yeah, I think it starts around 85. We'll see by the end of the season. Jaden Ivey at 82 is ridiculous, bro. Jaden Ivey at 82 is insane. Like King, you just mentioned 3.84, dunk 85. How was he 82? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't get it.
He can
His
shoot
memory's
threes and
that
dunk.
short. Yeah, he can do both.
What's dragging his score down?
Super athlete.
Elite
Like,
level speed.
are they putting that much deep? Are they saying he's just that bad of a defender? Like, what are we
I think
talking
it's just
about?
because of the injury, bro. That's
It
the
has
only
to be.
logic.
That's
The
gotta
only
be.
logic.
It has to be. Had he played a full season, had he been available for the playoffs, he probably advanced, probably at least get to the second round. I think all those things would have factored in. I think he would have been somewhere around the 88, to be honest.
Yeah.
Had he stayed healthy all year, the trajectory he was on, he was only going to get better. He may not have shot 41% for the whole year, but his whole game would have gotten better. The same way all the other young guys' game got better as the year went on.
Yeah, he was
So-
shooting good volume from 3 too, man.
He shot 5 a game.
And I'm high on his defense being able to come up higher because now when you have Ausar healthy, you're not relying on Ivy to be a lockdown guy on the island. He can just play passing
Exactly.
lanes and help you get out in transition, and that's going to be
point.
their bread and butter for him. So I'm very high on that defensive number getting up way higher.
That's a great point. 100%. King, anything else on that, bro?
Nah, man, I'm just waiting. I can't keep looking at Stu. It's pissing me off.
We almost there.
After
Let's get-
76 is Stu.
Hold
is
on.
77.
We're going to get there. I know you chomping at the bit, but we're going to get there. Tobias, number 5, is at 81 overall, 3.76, dunk 75.
That's
Thoughts on Tobias at 81?
He had a slow ass start though last season.
Once again,
He did.
just like JD.
Yeah, he had a bad start.
Yeah, 100%. So man, I think that's the only thing that factors in for a lot of these guys, which is why I think we're primed for a really huge breakout season because all these different things factored in to us not being able to be at our potential. So I really do think that I could see Tobias around 83 to end the season.
Mhm.
I think that would be fair for him. I don't think he's going to have too big of a jump because we know what he is. I think he's just going to kind of do it from a more consistent basis from the start. I think that's the biggest difference.
I feel like this is kind of his range too. Yeah, I think anywhere between like 80 to 83. Again, I don't know how much he was a fantastic defender last season. I don't know if he's going to repeat that exact same thing this year.
Mhm.
They lean on him a lot in the post, scoring. He got a little bit better towards the second half of the season as a shooter. When Ivy went down, they needed him to kind of step up as their number 2, number 3 guy offensively. And I think he did a really good job of that. But yeah, like you said, going from here on out at this point, I don't know how much better he's going to be, but 80 to 83, I think is kind of like a fair range for him.
And they don't need him to be that much better. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
Like the focus is the young guys getting better. And I think by default, he's just going to be able to just play his game. And we're going to see those guys take those jumps. So yeah, if he just stays steady, which is what we kind of want him to do anyway, just be steady. Just give a steady, consistent output on both ends. Yeah, I think that's solid for him. I agree with you, Eric. All right. Let's go to Karis LeVert, one of our new additions. They have him at 80, 3.81, dunk 75. Thoughts on this? Thoughts on Karis LeVert at 80?
I ain't gonna argue about Karis LeVert and Duncan. Like that's, I mean, Karis is at this point in his career is around 80.
I think he's higher than that, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Really, at this
Yeah.
point in his career?
I mean, like he's 40.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he's literally just a come off the bench guy that can get you a couple buckets, shoot a couple of threes. That's about it. He ain't taking over a game for you.
I think he can take over a couple games for you.
I think so.
Oh, wow.
Still.
Yes. I watched what he did with Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, bro, playing off ball and playing on ball. I think his ability to play either position, we didn't have that last year. Our three-man rotation didn't consist of 3 guys who can do both things as far as getting shots for himself and others. It was always like Jaden and Cade, Bees, Cade, Bees, and Schroeder. It was never 3 guys that can do. I think having a third guy, we can always have a guy on the court who's a playmaker. And I saw how he played off of Garland and Mitchell. They were looking for him. Here, take the ball. Like they have that much confidence in his ability. And I think playing with Coach Bickerstaff again, somebody who knows his game, is going to bring out the best in him. I think I have him around 83, 84. I think he's going to have one of his better seasons in recent memory. I really do.
I can give you that with Bickerstaff. I'll give you that. I'll give him 80. I think Stu should be 82, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
80 is fine.
Anything else on that, Eric?
Yeah, I'm cool with that. 80 don't bother me too much. Again, how much better he's going to be. Again, he can, I think, impact games or in different ways that we saw from Bees, but I don't think he's going to be some 20, 25, point scorer for him. He'll be able to give you an impactful, 11 to 15, 16, 17 points off the bench. I don't think 80 is too crazy. 80, 82, I think is a fair range for right now.
Okay. I'm not mad at that. All right. Let's move on to Duncan Robinson. 77 overall. 84 3-point, 70 dunk. I think that 84 3-point is kind of low, personally.
For Duncan, on that? What did he shoot last season?
Duncan Robinson?
Well, last season.
He didn't shoot that well last year. No. I think he was around. I think the last 2 years he's been around 39, 40%. The last 2 years.
Yeah, he was 39% last season in 74 games.
Yeah. So he's been the last 2 seasons. He's been back to who he was known to be.
I say he just a shooter though. I think his 3-point percentage could be like a 87 maybe. But I'm content with the overall though. Like I said, that's all you getting out of Duncan.
Yeah, you're gonna get some, you're gonna get some play, backdoor, moving without the basketball. You're gonna get a little bit of playmaking, but I think he primarily, like you said, King is gonna be a guy who's just providing space and knocking down shots, which I'm cool with.
You see, they got next to him, they got catch and shoot ace because that's what they're grading him as in the game too. So that makes sense.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
His 3-point number is more important than his overall number for sure. Yeah, if he's getting 84 as a shooter and can probably tick up a little bit more, playing with Cade, playing with a pure point guard, which he hasn't really had in the majority of his career. Yep. Yeah, I can see that getting up to like around 88 maybe. Yeah, I think he can have a pretty good year for the Pistons.
I do too. Yeah. All right, King. Let's go to number 8, man. Let's do it. Number 8, Isaiah Stewart. 77 overall.
Dog it.
73,
man.
73 3-point. That's going way up this year. I think that's going up. And dunk 70. Okay, that's fine. I'm not mad at the dunk, but the overall the 3-point. Y'all have at it. Go ahead. Get in there.
Characteristics, right? Rim protector. Rebounder. Shoot 73 from 3-point land. And that's only because of the opportunities. He probably could shoot a little bit more.
Yeah.
70 dunk. Okay, fine. Yep. Even with all of those, 77 makes no sense.
Nope.
None.
They didn't watch the Pistons.
Listen, look.
Right.
Asar, right? 83.
Here we go. Can't stay away.
Listen. We know as Pistons fans, Asar has to grow offense.
Absolutely.
Defensively, fine. You could have put him as a defense player. They have 2-way rim attacker.
Yeah, that's
He's
crazy.
Not that yet.
No.
He can be that. He should be that. He will be that.
Right.
That's 2 things compared to 4 things that Stu can do. Asar's at 83, Stu's at 77.
Yeah.
That logic makes no sense to me. None.
I'm not mad
at least be 80. At least.
Yeah, I think he should be 80. I had him at 80, personally. Just the impact he has on the floor.
One of them are starters.
I know. You know what it is? I think a big part of it is Stu's game isn't sexy, bro. Yeah. His game isn't sexy. Like, Asar's a high flyer. Asar
familiar with our team. Like, let's be them. They don't watch.
They don't pay attention to the starters. They don't pay attention to K half the time. So it's like, So they ain't gonna pay attention to Isaiah Stewart. You know what I'm saying? Doing the dirty work. Yeah, it's just, and he's not a starter. He didn't even play enough minutes to be eligible for all team defense.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you know what I mean? They're gonna overlook him. But he's gonna continue to be one of the most important players in this team. So, he's not a guy that cares about 2K rankings anyway. Like he's, you know what I'm saying? Like he's the kind of guy he's like, I'm trying to win. So, but this is disrespectful to him. I'm sorry. Like he should be in the 80 range for sure. So I think next season a lot of these guys are gonna go up. And we just, see how it goes from there. All right. A few more guys we'll get to. Marcus Sasser, man. A guy who I'm a little bit concerned about as far as his role with this team. They have him at a 76. They have his 3-point at 82. And they have his dunk at 50 for obvious reasons. What do you guys think of Marcus Sasser at 76?
Who?
Come on, man. Come on, bro.
Listen, I know who Sasser is. I know what he can do. He barely played, bro.
And that's the thing,
and
bro.
You got him at 76 and Stu at 77.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, what are y'all doing,
You
bro?
keep
not
doing
right.
that, bro.
That
Ron
ain't right.
played way more than him, and he's a 76.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you got Ryan as a rim attacker. You should have him as a two-way guy.
Right. He should be the two-way rim attacker. For sure. No, once again, bro. Like, I worry about Sasser's role on this team because he didn't play a lot last year. And now we've gotten guys who fit Trajan's identity even more. Right? He wants guys who are big and defensive, versatile defensively. And Sasser isn't either one of those things. So based on his words, I just don't see how he gets the opportunity next year. I like his offensive package. He's a bucket. But as far as what this team needs and where this team is going, I don't see how he fits into the mold.
Sass needs to go to a young team that's rebuilding and get an opportunity. Yeah. That's where Sass needs to be. Yep. He doesn't need to be on this Pistons roster because the way that is constructed, he's not going to get on court.
Yeah, I don't see it. But hopefully for him, he can get opportunity somewhere. You know what I mean? Because he's just rotting away in the bench. He's got a lot of talent. So hope he gets, like you said, King, maybe opportunity somewhere else would be best for him to get, some exposure, some minutes, and just kind of building what he's trying to build on. So I'm not, okay. Let's move on. Ron Holland, 76. 3.59. I think that's going way up next year. I think all of us think that's going up next year. We saw back half of the season, it was literally going up. Pause. And his dunk is at 80. So what are you guys' thoughts on Ron Holland at 76?
He'll improve. He probably should have got the 77 that Stu got, but he'll improve. And, like I said, he improves that three-pointer and continue to be who he is and grow on that. He'll crack probably 80 by the end of the season. Yeah. I think he has he's one of the guys that has the most room to grow, I think. Because I think a lot of the things that he's doing or that he's going to do next year, he could do a lot of those things last year. He just was put in a role to where he wasn't asked to do that. He was asked to be a beneficiary, like as far as offensively. He was a finisher offensively, but now we're seeing him in summer league and things like that in offseason talking to Charles Hill, his developmental trainer, saying that he's working on a lot of things that he already could do, just becoming better at them now. A lot, he compared him to a guy like Jaylen Brown, who started off as a defensive guy and slowly developed that player profile of being an offensive, reliable player. A lot like I think about Jimmy Butler with the Chicago Bulls. He was a defensive guy. That was what he was known for. That was his assignment. We saw over time, he started to polish his game, I see that kind of mold for a guy like Ron. And I think now that he's going to get an opportunity to kind of do some of those things that he's been working on, including the three ball, which you saw go up the second half of the year, I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. I see him at like 81 or 82. I think that's his ceiling for next year. And I think that's really good for a second-year player.
Yeah, that's what I see too. He probably should be around 78, and I think he can clip around like 82, 83. He says he's been watching Cade's film a lot. I think standing next to Karis LeVert is going to be big for him too because it's going to help expand his playmaking and his creation. And in comparison to guys like Sasser, where he was trying to be a point guard, you could see how raw and how unproven he was when he was trying to do that in Summer League.
Yeah.
When Ron is attacking with some of the areas, whether it's his playmaking, his step back for the three, setting up the mid-range, like it looked confident and pure every time. Even if it didn't go in, it looked like he was supposed to be doing it. So, I'm very high on what Ron can do. And I can see him clipping around like 82, 83 by the end of the year.
Same.
Yeah,
Same.
all in agreement.
Anything else on that, King? You good?
Yeah, all in agreement. Yep.
Okay. All right, let's get to a few more guys, and then we'll call it, man. All right, Paul Reed. They have Paul Reed at 74. Thoughts on Paul Reed at 74? You think that's too low or too high?
I can't even argue with that.
I think it's solid.
I mean, these guys ain't probably even going to get on the court too often unless it's some type of injury or foul trouble. So,
right. Yeah.
Dennis Jenkins should be at 98.
98 dunk?
A 98 overall, according to Deuce.
Man, come on,
2K,
bro.
for 2K Summer League.
That's what we doing, bro.
They made a 2K Summer League game.
Because I called him out last year. You wasn't on it, and I told you about how good he was going to be. That's all that is.
I remember that conversation.
Remember that conversation last year after Summer League?
You said you wanted him to be the backup, and King was not
did.
feeling it.
He was not. But it's all good. I think he's going to be. I think he's going to get some opportunity this year in certain situations. He could hoop. He could definitely hoop. You know what I mean? We had this guy, his trainer Jeremy Hard on, and he was just talking about how he's always working hard and putting time in. He got bunnies, bro. Ken, you were there for that dunk he did, that 360 dunk off the side of the backboard that Sass threw to him. Yeah. Like this dude is springy. He's springy, but more importantly, he's a solid point guard. He's a solid point guard. He's going to get the job done. He can come in and settle things down for you, right? So I think he's going to get some opportunity. I don't know if he's going to get enough attention to move up in this list. Obviously, because he's not a top tier guy. So I think he could, move to 70, somewhere around that range next year if he gets opportunity. And then two more guys. Tolu Smith at 67. I don't know if he's going to get the opportunity. I hope he does. I think he may get a shot, maybe in situations like Paul Reed did last year. But I don't know if he's going to get enough opportunity to really showcase what he can do. But I do like him on this team. We had him on the show last week, and he was just talking about he is really ready to prove that he can do a lot more than what he's shown. So we'll see, man. I got a lot of confidence that he can at least be an impactful player somewhere. Hopefully it's here, but he's definitely an NBA player. So, and then Bobby Klintman, 69.
Yeah,
y'all know how I feel about him.
Like I said, watching him in the summer league. Like I said, these guys, all of these dudes need opportunity somewhere. Yep. They need to get on the court so you can really see what it is. You know what I'm saying? Summer league is one thing. That ain't enough. You know what I'm saying? That's like a glorified practice scrimmage game. Yep. So, yeah, opportunity is a thing. It's kind of hard to judge with these dudes. That guy that's at the bottom, though, is going to be an interesting conversation.
Chaz Lanier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about it.
Yeah. Summer league, I felt like he was confident, shooting shots, even though some of them didn't go down. But when I watched Chaz Lanier, me personally, there's a lot of growth as far as being an NBA guard. I've seen a lot of Tennessee college basketball type of play out of him. I've seen a college basketball player. I didn't see an NBA player.
Right.
So
okay,
the Pistons and their staff they're going to be responsible for that type of growth. And, catching up with the speed of the NBA game, learning how it's played is going to be a learning curve from him. Because, like I said, the way that he played, I just felt like I was watching a college basketball game when he had the ball in his hand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think one thing he could work on is his ball handling. He's not really a great ball handler right now. We know he's a catch and shoot guy, and he's really good at that. I think he just needs to get comfortable. Yeah. Honestly, I think once he gets because you saw when he's in rhythm, he's automatic. When he's comfortable and in rhythm, he's automatic from long range. So, and he has some ability. He has some ability to be able to play make. I kind of liken it to a Malik Beasley, to where it's like you don't want to rely on him, but in the pinch, he can make a play for you. Right? Go ahead, King.
I'm glad you mentioned that because that pisses me off the most. The Malik Beasley situation.
Yeah,
I was looking forward to Chaz Lanier learning from Malik Beasley. You know what I'm saying? That would have been perfect for him because it's going to be up to the Pistons to put Chaz Lanier in them type of positions to be successful. Mm-hmm. And a perfect guy for him to learn from would have been Malik Beasley, but now he's probably going to have to look, more to some of the other guys on the roster.
Duncan and
Karis LeVert and some of the veteran guys that's been around. But that would have been perfect for him.
I agree.
Yep, totally.
They play very similar games, offensively at least, as far as getting a shot and coming off screens and all those things. So, I definitely he's got range too. He can shoot that. He's got some range to him. He could pull from 35 at the NBA level. I've seen it. So I definitely think he, over time, he's just a rookie coming in. So no high expectations for him. But as long as he can just kind of learn from the sideline and then, kind of give us a little bit here and there when needed, I think that'd be a good season for him. Somebody asked us, who has the better high school accolades out of you three? Eric, my vote. So I actually played high school ball with Detroit Kool-Aid. We played in the same squad at Summit Academy. I was a point. He was shooting guard. We were pretty nice. I ain't gonna lie. Together, we were pretty nice. But that was the extent. I didn't get the gift of height. I got the gift of music, but I didn't get the gift of size. That wasn't my thing. So my NBA career was gonna end pretty quickly. My dreams pretty quickly. But I played some high school ball. What about y'all?
Well, where do I start? I played for Frederick Douglass for most of my high school years, but
shout out Frederick Douglass.
An opportunity to have a small and swift stint with St. Martin's de Porres. But before I ended up leaving there, I went to Redford. So, and I didn't get a chance to play on that squad, but I played a lot of basketball in high school. I went to the state championship. We went up against Brandon Cotton against St. Martin's de Porres. They won by 3 points. That's how close that game was. Man, I like I said, I had an opportunity to win a state championship playing for Frederick Douglass, bro.
Yeah, that's lit.
All boy East Side school. We were unheard of in basketball. No one knew who the Hurricanes was.
That's a fact.
We went to a state championship. So yeah.
So king in the league. Go ahead, Eric. What you got?
I was a three sport athlete. I played football. I went to North Farmington High School.
Okay.
They were horrible in football, but I got mine. I mean, I was a receiver. I was kind of tall like I am now. I was like 6 foot, but I lied on my report. I said I was 6'3". And I was the big possession receiver. We had other speedy guys. I was the one that was kind of catching them tough routes over the middle. Got smacked by a lot of guys from Rochester Adams, Harrison. We played against the Dogs over there. Mm-hmm. I played basketball for North. We were kind of that, like, we played defense we played a full court 2-3 press on defense the whole game because we didn't have like the athletes to match up with some of the teams we played against. Like we played against like St. Mary's, who had, all American recruits everywhere. Clarkston, who had recruits everywhere. Like, we did our thing with what we could, but it was a kind of a, get in where you fit in type of deal.
Right.
And I felt like I started at the 4. I was like the Lamar Odom of the team, no big deal. And I ran track as well. I was a hurdler, high jumper. I was like that. I ran the 400. I was all over the place, man.
Well, I didn't know he was doing the whole rundown. So
I ain't either. Yeah, but
I wanted to throw my whole resume out.
I ain't mad at you though.
I only play football up to Pal League. Shout out to the Broncos, West Side Cubs.
Yeah.
I was better in football than basketball, but I like basketball more because of Ben Wallace. And I played basketball. I also ran track, cross country, those runs.
Cross country?
Those runs downtown. Downtown
Mm-hmm.
at Belle Isle through the woods was not fun,
bro. Can't pay me cross country,
but
facts, bro.
Bringing everything to the table, I did advance in a N1 tour to the next round.
Man, get out of here, bro.
You think I'm bullshitting?
I need to see the footage of that. I can't imagine that.
Shout out to my hood. Everybody know me in my hood. They call me Spider-Man first before Spider-Man from New York, by the way, because I was the first hanging on the rim upside down.
Yeah, we need to see this footage.
Was like that. I'm serious. I really was like that. But yeah, we went downtown and played 3-on-3 for N1. I ended up making it to the next round. I didn't get to go on the tour though. But I was a big time street ball. I played with Springs. I played with
Springs.
Yeah. Springs used to come up to off of 7 Mile and Lobster, man, to the court up there on Bentler. Man, those rims was 11 feet. We was dunking 11-foot rims. Okay, and we were shooting half court up there for money, for dollars. And man, when Springs was up there, it was just fun, man. But I done played with some people. I'm talking about some faces.
Last thing, who's your favorite N1 player?
My favorite, half man, half amazing.
Half man?
His dunking. I used to love it. I was a dunker.
Right.
So his
who was yours, E?
Escalade always stole the show. Rest in peace, Escalade.
Mark Jackson's brother.
He was tough. He was so fun to watch. Every time he made a play, he shut down the whole joint, man. I love Escalade.
Man,
that's a good pick.
And point to the crowd.
Boy.
He was nice. He was nice. Professor. I loved his handle, bro. Because he kind of played like how he wasn't the biggest guy, you know what I'm saying? But his wizardry with the basketball, man. A lot like hot sauce, but I just like Professor's his little swag he had with his handle. So it was fun to watch. Yeah, all those are good picks. But yeah, he was definitely my guy for sure. So go ahead, King, real quick.
I got a basketball rim in my garage. I broke this double rim at this court, thick double rim. Broke that mud. That's how hard I used to dunk when I was in high school.
Oh, baby.
Man.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. All right. So we'll end it there, man. That's a wrap for this episode, guys. We hope you guys enjoyed the Pistons all-time ranking video, sprinkled in with a little Pistons 2K rankings. If you guys want to see more all-time rankings videos from us, drop it in the comments, drop it in the chat. Let us know if you guys enjoyed this. We have a few ideas for some different lists. We did the defensive all-time today, but we have some different ideas for some different lists going forward. But we're only going to do it if we get enough feedback in the chat, in the comments. So y'all let us know if y'all want to see more of it. Listen, E, we appreciate you, bro. Pulling back up to the show. for those who are not already tapped in with you, how can we keep up with you and what you are doing, my guy?
Man, appreciate y'all for having me, man. Y'all can follow me on social media at I am Eric Vincent, like you see on the screen.
Yes,
you can follow all my Detroit Pistons beat reporting at clutchpoints.com. And of course, like I said before, I got my own YouTube channel. It's Top Title Detroit. If you want to tap in, hit me up on there. I'd really appreciate it. I got a couple of videos coming out this week, and I'll be sure to have some good coverage for y'all when the season starts as well.
There it is, man. So make sure you guys are subscribed to Eric. Make sure you guys subscribe to Everything King. Make sure you guys subscribe to myself and show some.
Before y'all, before we get off, if you're a music head, I want you guys to check out my guy. His name is Juan. His name is the coolest weirdo online, man. I'll hold that up, y'all.
Okay.
Weirdo. If you love music debates, if you like to argue about who was better this era, that era, check him out. He's on TikTok and YouTube. I promise you will not be disappointed.
Is he a Drake fan?
Oh, I knew that was coming.
He's a Lamar fan.
All right, I'm tapping in right now.
Detroit
tapping in right now. Let's go.
Top Detroit has subscribed to the channel
immediately.
No, I'm gonna check it out though. Like you talking like top 5, like all time like rappers and stuff like that, like all time everything,
bro.
I like that. Okay, y'all make sure y'all tap in for sure, and hit that like button on this video too, man. Listen, for those of you who missed it, make sure you guys check out the recent interview we did with Pistons and Tolu Smith. It was a good one, so make sure y'all go check that out. And we appreciate you guys showing up and showing out as you guys always do, man. But until then, y'all know the drill, man. We'll catch you on the next one. Detroit versus everybody. Peace.
And when you knock me down, I'm getting back up. Cause when I step on the floor, you know your time's up. I'm on my way up and I'm not gonna stop. We headed straight to the top in the low. I gotta face it, I got no time to waste it.